From New York City, tracking the ever-evolving landscape of the NBA, it's NBA TV's coverage of the 2019 NBA Draft Future Stars presented by State Farm. In Brooklyn tomorrow, 60 picks will be announced by Commissioner Adam Silver as the next generation enters the NBA. It is a bright future for many of these stars who are joining us here, 20 of them with us at the Grand Hyatt. Steve Smith, I'm Jarrett Greenberg. We're going to speak to so many different people, including the presumptive number one overall pick, Zion Williamson. Welcome inside the building, and we welcome in Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech as our first guest here. Sorry for you that you got to be the first guy in the hot seat here.
No, I love it.
That means you get the hardest questions.
Yes, sir.
And Smitty comes off a little angry at you to start off. So Smitty, you want to fire away first?
No, I just want to say I've watched his progression. First of all, he came in looking fantastic.
Sir.
I mean, I just love his dress, but I just love the way he approached the game and saw this progression in the last 2 years. Talk to us first about just this whole entire process since you ended your last college game to now.
It's been very busy, but I'm enjoying every moment of it. I have a great opportunity, so I'm just smelling the roses, as you can say, and I'm enjoying every moment.
You've been described as a guy who's addicted to basketball.
Yeah.
So what is it like for you now to know that this will, starting tomorrow night, be your profession for as long as you could make it?
It doesn't get better than playing a game that you love as a job. And I mean, it's been a dream to make it to the NBA. I worked very hard for it, so I feel like it's a great opportunity for me.
You've made good in Lubbock, growing up, going to Texas Tech, but there's no professional team in Lubbock, I've learned, and Commissioner Silver says they're not expanding there.
Yeah.
So how does it feel now to know that you're going to have to leave that nest and go somewhere that you're not really sure where that is right now?
I feel like I adjust very well, and just coming from Lubbock, it's all love out there, and I feel like I'm not even supposed to be here coming from Lubbock, Texas, but I mean, God gave me a talent, and I have this platform, so I want to use it for His glory.
Well, let me talk about just your game. First of all, you come from a university and a coaching staff where you guys preach defense, and playing hard. Then also you had your siblings, so you know how to compete. What's next for you, your evolution of your game, I think, on the offensive end? Because I think you're NBA ready for sure on the defensive end.
I agree with that, and just coming from one of the best defensive schools in the country, it kind of installed in me that I have to play defense to play. And then on the offensive end, I just want to perfect my craft, expand it every day, and it's a lot more space in the NBA, a lot of better guys. So, I mean, I feel like I'm going to adjust very well and, just working on my game every day.
You're comfortable, very comfortable with the ball in your hand. You play a little point guard in high school. Off the ball, what do you think you have to work on, and also your shooting-wise?
Spacing, I got to work on the spacing. The NBA level, it's a lot of spacing, so just making sure I work on that. And then just off the ball, just my shot, just making sure I work on that every day. My percentages went down from freshman to sophomore year, but I'm confident in my shot. I work on it every day. I put a lot of shots up, so I'm confident.
Everyone who has watched you or has worked with you has described you as unselfish, as a team-first guy, which is what you want to be described as.
Yes, sir.
But throughout this draft process, has any of playing the quote-unquote right way kind of affected how people perceive how good you as an individual can be?
At the end of the day, it kind of could, but I'm all about winning. Whatever I got to do to win, I want to win. So if that's passing the ball, having 9 assists, or if it's scoring 20 points or playing defense, at the end of the day, I want to win. So whatever I got to do, that's what I'm going to do to
now,
win.
You got pretty far this year. Texas Tech was the national runner-up. How much has that fueled your fire?
It's been fueling my fire, kind of losing in the championship game, just staying motivated. But it was a blessing. It was a great experience to get there. Not too many people have that. So I had a great team, great coaches, and I mean, it's a lifetime moment for me.
Now, when you watched the way you played last year, the ball was in your hands a lot. And you got a chance to make a lot of decisions. You're looking at it right now is if a team puts the ball in your hand, do you feel you can be a guy that can facilitate and score and do all the little things on the offensive end?
I feel like I'm ready for that, and I'm ready for that opportunity. I feel like teams see me that way and could put the ball in my hands and I make plays. I feel like good things happen with the ball in my hand, and I'm unselfish, and I feel like I can make the right plays.
Now, looking at on the court, now everything about the NBA is a lot off the court. Are you ready for everything to come off the court in the NBA?
Yes, I hear about it all the time, but you don't really realize if you're ready or not until you experience it. But I'm going to keep my people around me, surround myself with the right people, and stay focused and stay true to myself, so I feel like I'm ready.
One of those people is your father, who was the team chaplain at Texas Tech. Curious, was there ever a pregame prayer session that maybe veered off course a little bit and and went to something that wasn't necessarily about the prayer book and it was about the game or about life or something else?
Yeah, sometimes he talks about Michael Jordan a lot, and then he talks about the Cowboys, so he'll be saying some stuff and then get off to the Michael Jordan of the Cowboys, and it's pretty funny.
You've been told you got to put on some weight. Working on that a little bit?
For sure, I've been in the weight room. I just been working on my body just so I could be NBA ready for my body.
I can give you some if you want.
Yeah, we got a lot of it over here.
What's been the most difficult off-the-court transition in terms of getting your body ready that you maybe didn't have to do in high school or college that's different from what they expect from you in the NBA?
Just the busy days, and then make sure I'm eating right. You have a lot of interviews, appearances, and a lot of things that go on, and you have to feel your body the right way to perform. So I feel like just adjusting to that.
What's one of the food items that you've cut out that you miss?
Whew, I haven't cut out anything.
Yeah, you need some gain weight, Smitty.
I need to
cut out something. I know I cut out fish fillets. That was my bad.
Yeah, I haven't cut out nothing yet.
Okay, got you.
You might want to have done that anyway, though. Tell us about your workouts with the various teams that brought you in. Were any of them unique? Was there anything that you thought that they were testing you on that you weren't, that you were surprised that they did with you?
They all kind of was the same in their own ways, and at the end of the day, they just wanted to know who I am. They watch film and they know how I play, so they wanted to bring me in just to have me and see what my impact is on them.
Have you got a chance to pick any pros' brains about just next steps for you? Have you got a chance to talk to guys that played in the NBA? Have they given you some great advice?
Yeah, in LA, LeBron was at the workout, and I was able to talk to him, and he just his message was just stay true to myself, make sure I keep working hard, and I'll make it. And then I talked to one of my favorite players, Jamal Crawford, on Twitter, and I just wanted to talk to him, reach out to him, and he reached out back. So that was amazing just to hear advice from the older guys like that.
Is he ever going to stop playing?
I don't think so. He still got it.
He does, and he's probably watching right now because Jamal watches everything NBA related.
I heard.
Well, Jarrett, we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations to reaching this point. We look forward to chatting with you down the road.
Thank you.
There he is, the Big 12 Player of the Year, Jarrett Culver.
Yes,
That's tipping us off here from the Grand Hyatt in the 2019 NBA Draft Future Stars presented by State Farm. We come back to New York City. We'll be joined by the likes of Zion Williamson, and coming up next, DeAndre Hunter. The Grand Hyatt in New York City. It is the 2019 NBA Draft Future Stars presented by State Farm, and we have a national champion in our presence. You're still riding high from that national championship with Virginia, DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great experience. Just carrying it on to the draft now.
Are you able to compartmentalize and think about that's in the past, and now you got to focus on your professional career, which is going to start Thursday night?
Yeah, I put it in the past, but I still think about it. I still see videos and things like that. So when I see things like that, it just brings back memories.
You got to be talking trash to all the guys here.
You just won a national championship. You put it in the past?
For right now, I'm just focusing on the draft for right now.
It's a business, man. Come on. You got to take care of that. You talking some trash to the other guys here?
No, not right now. They haven't been saying anything too crazy. So.
We just talked to Jarrett Culver. You rubbing it in his face a little bit or no?
No.
He knows what's up, right?
Well, let's talk about DeAndre, just this entire process. How's it been for you? The workouts, this media, so far is it the highs, the lows?
It's been a fun experience. Just something I've been dreaming about for a while, something I've been seeing as a kid, guys going through the draft. So I'm just taking it all in, just not taking it for granted.
When you look at your game, I just really want to hit right to 44% shooting from three. What was the change, and what did you do that summer to get to that number? Because that's a huge number, especially for Virginia. Your coach Tony Bennett, there ain't a lot of possessions.
Yeah, it was just the work I put in the offseason. Just got up a lot of shots, a lot of game shots. I felt like that was the biggest thing, not just going through the reps just to do them, but getting game shots at a good pace. I feel like that really helped me throughout the season.
Did you change anything mechanic-wise?
No, same shot. Yeah.
Same shot.
Yeah.
So Smitty talks about the three-point shot. You also were the National Defensive Player of the Year. We throw around the term 3-and-D guy a lot in the NBA. Is that a label that you embrace, or is it something that you feel like is not a fair title to have?
I embrace it, but I'm definitely working to be more than that. But it doesn't really matter what I am right now. I haven't played a game, so what I'm labeled doesn't really matter. It's just once I get there, what I do, I feel like I could prove I could do more.
Your mindset in that national championship game, I was there getting a chance to call that game. It was all offensively. You're going to play D. Just take me through what turned on that light where you started to take over the game and have the ball in your hand and handle it a little bit more.
I mean, it was the last half of the season. It was the final game of the year. I just wanted to be aggressive, and that was my mindset, just be aggressive, just take those shots, even if I miss, keep shooting.
27 points, 9 rebounds in that national championship victory. How do you prepare for a moment on that stage when you know the entire world is watching?
Yeah, it's just all the work you put in the offseason. I mean, the practice gym is not the same as those arenas, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just those reps that you get up. And once the game time comes, no matter where you are, it's just those reps that you put up, it just make you feel more confident.
Did we in the media make too much of the year before in the first round? I know you were injured with the wrist injury, but did we make too much of that motivating you on a daily basis, or was that a legit thing in the back of your mind on a regular basis?
No, that was real. We talked about it in the offseason, and that was definitely one of our goals, just to overcome that and get past that in the upcoming season.
Well, DeAndre, I mean, you look at your fundamentals, they're so solid. How has Coach Bennett helped you? And also, when you look at the next level for you, what do you want to work on before you get a chance to be selected by an NBA team or get a chance to play in your first game?
I mean, yeah, Coach Bennett helped me a lot. He definitely helped me a lot with my shot, helped me a lot with my ball handling, just overall, like you said, the fundamentals. But going to the next level, I'm just looking forward to be more creative off the dribble, just do things that I feel like I could do before and just get back to doing things like that.
Now, DeAndre, you won a national championship. You put your name in the draft. So you can look in the camera right now and tell Coach Bennett, y'all should have played a little bit faster to catch some more numbers.
Admit it.
You willing to do that now?
No, we good. I think we did. We had a good game plan.
He's still trying to
work
help
for
recruit. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Did you watch a lot of the NBA finals and think at all about how the NBA has gotten to be so much about offense and fast-paced, but we're seeing the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard, a guy who's got the ability to slow it down and hit from the mid-range like yourself.
Yeah.
Were you watching that and thinking, I can play this way, I can fit in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I watch Kawhi Leonard a lot, so I love the way he plays. He plays on both ends, and like you said, the Warriors are more an up-and-down team. Guys shoot long threes, but I feel like the Raptors were more fundamental. Like you said, Kawhi can hit that mid-range jumper. So, I mean, when I was watching the game, I felt like I could fit in.
You're one of those players on the defensive end can guard 1 through 4, but on the offensive end, where do you think you're most better slated at? To 2, to 3, or maybe even a stretch 4?
I mean, I really couldn't say. I feel like I could play all those positions. It's not necessarily one that I'm particularly better at, but it doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't matter now. It's just once I get there, I could prove that, and we'll see.
Age is a funny thing in the NBA. Smitty's old, we know that. But we speak to the guys who are in this chair who are not yet 19 or who are 19, we say they're too young.
Yeah.
And you're 21 and you're too old.
Yeah.
What's the feedback you've gotten from teams about a guy who's got experience, which is something that guys like Smitty used to have a lot of when they were getting drafted, and now is an uncommon thing?
I mean, yeah, it's just different for me. To being 21, being labeled as older player is just like kind of weird for me. But I mean, I embrace it. I feel like my maturity helps me, and I don't see it as a negative thing.
What have teams told you? What's the feedback you've gotten about the experience that you've gathered, really 3 years, right, at the University of Virginia?
Just that it helps me a lot. Like I said, it's not a negative thing. It's just more of a positive, and that it's not bad for me to be a little older than the rest of the guys.
Looking back at your roles, how it changed through your time, you were the 6th man of the year, and then last year you start every game. Mm-hmm. Is that prepare you for what may come your way, which is maybe not plugging into a starting role in the NBA right away?
Yeah, I mean, in the lineup, I've seen it all. It was games I didn't play at all. It was games I played for one half and then playing the second half. And fast forward to my next year, I was playing most of the entire game. So, I mean, I know what it feels to be like in both positions, and I'm comfortable with whatever happens.
Now, when you hear your name called, just tell me how excited you'll be. I know it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
Do you have any surprises on what outfit you're wearing? You're going to give her something a little flashy, or are you more conservative?
I have a nice little JCPenney suit, so
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you pick it out?
Yeah,
you got a stylist already?
Nah, we work together on it. So yeah, you'll see it.
Don't be like some NBA players who say that their clothes get laid out for them on their bed.
Oh no.
You're a grown man.
Yeah, I can pick my own clothes.
DeAndre Hunter, thanks so much for taking some time. We'll speak to you again Thursday night at the draft. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
There he is, a national champion and a presumptive lottery pick in the 2019 NBA draft. Our coverage continues. We'll hear from the likes of Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and more as we continue on NBA TV's coverage of the 2019 NBA draft Future Stars presented by State Farm. now the man that won the Bob Cousy Award as the nation's best point guard, Ja Morant. Ja, thanks for taking some time with us here.
Thank y'all.
Hearing all of the interviews that you've been doing throughout the course of the college basketball season leading up to now, the thing that struck me first is you're 19 years old, and I don't understand how you have found this balance of the incredible confidence that you have while also still being humble and hungry for more. Where do you think that came from?
I think most of the credit goes to my parents and my family. I feel like they raised me the right way and taught me just how to be a great person all around, and also my background, my story of coming from under the radar obviously allowed me to be humble, and in order to overcome that, I had to be confident in myself at the same time.
What I love is, Ja, is watching you play, like you say, you attack, but it's not just scoring. It's your passing. It's your level of just wanting to win. And that's what I love. Talk to me, where did that come from? Whereas you're going to do whatever it takes to win. And obviously you put up unbelievable numbers, but you see most people trying to focus on the 2 or 3 things they do well. It seems like you're trying to put your imprint on the entire game.
Yeah, I'm really just never satisfied. I always feel like there's room for improvement. And I'd rather somebody tell me the negative than tell me something positive. So after every game, I ask my parents, my family, like, what did I do bad? And they tell me, and then I go watch and see like what I could have do to change, like why I did whatever. And I just feel like I try to help the team in any way I can. Take whatever role they give me, and whatever I can do to help the team win, I'm gonna do.
Well, you're playing that position. We call that position, the point guard position. Not only that you have to be a leader, but you got to be able to tell guys no. You got to be able to tell guys, put them in place. Are you ready for that challenge as a 19-year-old, like Jarrett said? We're playing with some veterans, some all-stars, to be able to put them in the right place.
Yes, I think I'm ready. I think I've been a leader all my life. Being at the point guard position, I feel like you have to be very vocal and a leader of the team. And coming in, learning from veteran guys, my freshman year at Murray, but still having to talk to them, sometimes like if they did something wrong or anything, I think allowed me to be more comfortable, and I feel like I'm ready for the next level.
I know you watch the game a lot. Have you gotten the opportunity to speak to some guys who play in the league?
Yes, not in like face-to-face, but like through DM messages.
You're sliding into that DM? Come on, Ja. Let me get some text messages here. There's a difference between a text and a DM.
Yeah, it definitely is.
For you to be the first guy since the stat was recorded to go and average 20 and 10, and you're in the mix for National Player of the Year. I know some organizations did give you that award. And before the season, your own conference you played in didn't even select you as the preseason Player of the Year. I know you're confident, but could you have dreamed 12 months ago to be in this position that you're in now?
Tough question. I always felt like I was good enough to play at the NBA level and be the person that I am right now, but obviously it took a lot of work. And I'm not going to lie and sit here and say, like, yeah, I knew I would be in this position right now, but I knew eventually my hard work and everything that I've been through, my determination would have gotten me here.
With that said, now that you are here, are you pretty confident? Are you allowing yourself to accept the fact that you're going to be the number 2 pick in the draft?
Yes, but like I said, still never satisfied. I know I still have a lot of more work to do after my name is called. Obviously, it's going to be a very emotional night coming from being under the radar or whatever. But at the same time, I'm going to be happy for myself, but going to continue to work because I feel like I still have a lot to prove.
I'll follow up on that because I've heard you speak a lot about being under the radar and overlooked and going the mid-major route. But now you're no longer the guy who's overlooked. You're the guy who's got really high expectations. How different is that for you, just the mentality, the approach, to go from a guy that people didn't look at to a guy everyone's looking at?
It was difficult. Obviously, something I wasn't used to. With the attention and everybody saying my name, I went from a nobody to one of the most talked about players in this year's draft. But through it all, I just continued to be myself. I stayed Ja, and I always been humble, and it led me to this point right here.
Take me through your first year in college to your second year, because that shooting went to another roof. And what impressed me is you get all the attention, you still shot 50%, still shot a high percentage from the three-point line with a lot of attention. Just take me through that summer, what you did to raise those averages.
I felt like my freshman year was a very big learning experience for me. And I feel like that's why I think I'll be effective on the NBA level, because I've been through it already. My freshman year, I felt like I was taking 4 shots that I forced myself to take because I was used to shooting a lot in high school, being the main guy. And once I finally accepted my role and understood what I had to do for my team to win, it allowed me to play at a high level. And coming into my sophomore year, I got with Coach Nichols, and he was like, we about to step it up a level. So it was a lot of workouts from mornings to the afternoon, and a lot of shooting, trying to get my release quicker and just getting more comfortable with shooting the ball. And that's what I did, and was able to shoot a high percentage.
So you talked about you want to hear the negatives. Some things is going to be like we all had coming out as players. They're going to say he's too small, he's not strong enough. What's your answer to that?
I actually want them to keep saying that. I feel like negative energy motivates me, and it only makes me better, and I thrive through that. I've been hearing it all my life from high school to now, and my dad was my first hater before I even had him. He was calling me overrated and said he wasn't satisfied. So that really doesn't bother me. So I know they're gonna continue to say it, but I'm gonna continue being Josh.
So when your name is called, you got some words for your dad?
Yeah.
No, don't say no.
Yeah, I do.
Over there right now.
I do, because I feel like he could have said something positive, but now I understand what he was doing. He was just preparing me for this. So I think the words would be thank you, because he had the opportunity to play professionally and turn it down just to raise me. And now it's like I'm living my dream and his dream through me. So we both kind of made it, and I just want to thank him for everything he's done.
Good answer, because I'm a dad, because I was, trying to keep your dad from coming on set right now.
Yeah.
So are we gonna be hearing your dad yelling in the stands, just negative things to you? We're like, who's that guy in the stands? Find his family to get this guy out of here.
Nah, he won't say it like that, because he know it probably be some fans saying something. But he normally just tell me something throughout the games. I think high school and college, he was on the first row. And he was able to be like, all right, now, you forcing too many shots, attack or something like that, and it helped me. But after the game, he was like, you still ain't doing anything. Marquette, after the triple-double, I felt like, all right, I played decent. Nah, that wasn't enough. Yeah, so.
We do got to ask you about the news that came out in the last couple of weeks that you had a procedure done on your knee. How serious is it, and when do you expect to get back on the court?
It wasn't very serious. It was just a clean out. I actually got to play on the court a week later after the surgery, and now I'm just waiting till after the draft to get back on the court.
Now, I need to ask the question. You get your name called. What are you wearing? You got some exciting stuff for us? Because, me and Jarrett know your tailor very well, so I'm putting a little pressure on him. Does he have you right?
Yeah, he had me right. Definitely it'll be opening some eyes, but it's not too much.
So if I don't approve of it, I'm going to make sure he give you another suit for free.
All right.
Good.
Deal.
And if I like it, get me a suit for free.
All right, deal.
There he is, John Morant, joining us here, the presumptive number 2 pick in the NBA draft. Best of luck to you. Thanks for taking some time.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Got plenty more to do here from New York City at the Grand Hyatt. It is part of our media coverage of the 2019 NBA draft. Come on back. We got much more, including a chat with the presumptive number 1 pick in the draft, Zion Williamson. Coming up. Back in New York City on NBA TV for our coverage of the 2019 NBA Draft Future Stars presented by State Farm. Steve Smith, Jarrett Greenberg, R.J. Barrett from Duke University here with us. R.J., thanks for taking some time. It's been a big couple of weeks happening in your life. Happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you very much.
were people in Canada celebrating your birthday? Is that why they took to the streets 2 million strong the other day?
Nah, the Raptors, they just won this championship.
Oh, yeah.
So the whole country's going crazy right now.
Did you feel like people were not honoring your birthday as much because it happened right after the Raptors won the title?
No, it's okay. I'll let it slide this time, but
How much, in all honesty, growing up in Canada, how much did it mean to you to see that team do what they did the other day?
I was cheering every game. I grew up a Raptors fan, so I've seen the struggles, and to see them finally, get over the hump and win the chip means a lot.
Well, talk to me, RJ. You're getting a chance, one of the biggest moments in your life to get a chance to get drafted. Just talk about that, everything you've been through, the workouts up until this day. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I feel like all the hard work that I put in is, starting to pay off, and I just can't wait to shake the commissioner's hand.
You made it pretty clear from the get-go where you want to go. You want to be a New York Knick. Has that wavered at all? Have you opened your mind up to the possibility of going elsewhere?
First of all, my mind's opened up to anything. You know, my dream is always to make it to the NBA and play in the NBA, so it doesn't matter what team. But Knicks definitely preferably, you know, for me, with the way the draft's set up, that's where I want to go.
Now, it's come out that Darius Garland's going to work out for them today. Does that put any doubt in your mind about what the Knicks are thinking, where they want to go with the 3rd pick?
No, I'm not worried. Like I said, you know, I'm going to get picked somewhere, so anywhere I'll be happy with.
You talk to me about your game. What I love about it, you're super talented. Skill set, you can play the 1, the 2, the 3. But the way you rebound for your size, where does that come from? I mean, you not only grab rebounds, you attack rebounds. And I haven't seen that in a long time from a guy your size, the way you go after. You go after like you're a 5-man.
Yes, sir. Always wanted to do, you know, what I can to help the team win. I just try to be a complete player. And also, what kind of helps is when you get the rebound, you have the ball. So I go for it. That way I don't have to wait for the point guard to give it to me.
When you talk about that instance, I watched you in high school, watched you play on the circuit. You scored, but at Duke, you could score and facilitate it. Where did that come from?
Kind of always had it, but I've had the fortune of just playing with so many great point guards that it kind of, you know, gets overshadowed. But, you know, at Duke, I was able to be free. Coach K let me play my game, so it was great.
At 6'7", though, you're not the traditional size of a guy that would be able to run the floor like that. How much influence did your godfather, Steve Nash, have on the way you approach the game?
Definitely Uncle Steve and my dad, they always try to make me a complete player, try to, you know, tell me to be very versatile. So that's why you saw me at the point or you saw me at the 4. You know, it didn't really matter. So
we focus on the NBA so much on super teams, and the Raptors just took down maybe the greatest super team of all time in the Golden State Warriors. I'm curious, though, if there are super teams in college. The one you were on was one of the most talented college teams we had ever seen at Duke. While you have the goal of trying to win and coming together for the team, does that oftentimes, whether it's your style of play being forced to change or the stats you put up, does that kind of hurt the way people perceive who you could be at the next level?
For me, I don't think so. I feel like I was able to still play and still do my thing, and I'm gonna be a top pick, you know. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And also, who cares, you know, what people think? When I get to the league, I'm gonna show you what I can do. So that's really it.
Do you feel like, though, in the NBA, parts of your game will be unleashed that weren't able to be unleashed at college because of your teammates?
I feel like when you go to the NBA, you're gonna have better teammates anyway.
Right.
So I feel like if I had the opportunity, yes, it would be shown more.
So everybody's going to nitpick. You know that when you get to the draft. Weaknesses, what he needs to work on. What do you think you need to work on? Not for letting everybody else tell you what you need to work on. What do you think you need to work on?
I always thought that at the next level, even my strengths I need to work on. So really everything, and definitely improving, you know, my jump shot and definitely improving my right hand, you know, really just all around.
When you talk about your right-handed, you know, I used to hear that you right-handed.
Yeah, I am.
So
right-handed.
now everybody's saying you need to work on your right hand, and I know you play left-handed, but talk to me what are some of the things you want to do as far as working with your right hand.
It's funny. I actually prefer to dribble or pass with my right, but I like to score better with my left. So I don't really know. It's kind of weird, but I'm just trying to, you know, be able to come off and attack, go straight to the rim, my right, just everything.
So now you're changing up. You're gonna be shooting with your right.
I used to when I was younger, but I stopped.
What hand do you write with?
I write with my right.
What hand do you pick up a fork with?
My right.
Throw a baseball?
Right.
But you shoot lefty.
Yeah.
That's an advantage.
Interesting.
I don't get it either.
Is there any NBA player currently in the league that you look at and you try and maybe study tape, or you watching games, you're like, I could be like him?
I study LeBron and James Harden a lot. I watch a lot of their stuff, especially this summer's been a lot of James Harden. Like you said, they're complete, so why not?
What in particular did you look from one of those guys that you want to add to your game from Harden and LeBron?
Harden shooting off the bounce, and then LeBron really just how he facilitates and plays all around.
Interesting. You excited?
Man, I'm probably the happiest guy in here.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. We wish you the best of luck. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday as our draft coverage continues.
Last question. What you wearing?
Good one.
I need to know what you're wearing. You ready?
it's a color that real men wear. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
Coming out with a pink suit, R.J. Barrett on Thursday night. You've heard it here first. Our coverage continues here from the Grand Hyatt with interviews with some of the top picks in the 2019 NBA draft. New York City, the Grand Hyatt, and the man everybody wants to talk to, Steve Smith. He's right here. Steve Smith, Jared Greenberg, and of course the presumptive #1 pick in the 2019 NBA draft, Zion Williamson. Zion, thanks for taking some time with us. You sick of doing these interviews yet, or are you still enjoying this a little bit?
I'm still having fun with it.
Yeah. What is this experience like for you as we inch closer and closer to hearing your name called first overall on Thursday night?
I mean, it doesn't seem real. Like, from them days working out on an outdoor court to like 5 o'clock in the morning, to just a long hour spent traveling like with AAU, to actually know that it's gonna pay off tomorrow night is it really does not seem real.
Just take me through that. You know, it's all of our dreams when you start playing a game of basketball, and now you get a chance to walk across the stage, and we all know probably be the #1 pick. And just take me through when you knew that you had a chance to be a pro player. And how old were you when you knew you had that chance?
Well, my parents saw it in me like when I was a lot younger, but I always try to be realistic about things, and I think I saw it like last year at Duke, like after December, like when I started hearing more and more about how I might have a chance to go like to the NBA draft this year, and I was like, all right, like maybe I actually do have a shot. And now it seems like it's gonna happen, and I can't wait to grab the hat of whatever team selects me.
Is there some part of you that is kind of relieved that this part of it is almost over?
A little bit. It has been a lot, because you know, people basically try to tell me what team I'm going to, and I try to answer the questions to the best of my capabilities. But to know that after Thursday night I'll be able to say I'm a part of this organization.
Well, you can say it now. I mean,
I don't know. What team would that be?
I mean, if the Pelicans don't pick you, then David Griffin will be back working with us here on NBA TV. Let's be honest about that.
And just talk about, you know, did it get a chance to, you know, you played at high school, you played at AAU, got a chance to play at Duke. Now you get a chance to play at the NBA level. What best fits you position-wise, you think, going into the NBA?
I think just reading my matchup, because I think we're in a time of like positionless basketball. So I think whatever my matchup is, I gotta take the best approach to it.
There's been a lot of talk about your body. I feel a little uncomfortable talking about it. It's a little weird. But what do you make of it? And people, whether it's media members or when you do sit down and talk with people in NBA organizations or your trainers that you work with, how important are people making how you work on your body and getting it ready for the NBA game?
It's very important. You know, I'm gonna sit down with the organization that drafts me, and you know, like, we'll discuss whether it's affecting me or whether it's fine. Because you know, like, they're the best at what they do, the trainers and stuff. So I'm gonna let them like tell me if it's slowing me down or if it's affecting me, and go from there. Did
your injury during the season this year that cost you a few games, did that open up your eyes to any other reality or make you give you some trepidation about, oh, everything's not just perfect?
You know, I knew injuries were a part of the game, but you know, it was just crazy because it was my shoe and I just blew right through it. So I mean, it was eye-opening in a sense, and like, wow, like literally anything can happen. So yeah, that perspective was eye-opening.
So Zion, let's talk about on the court. We know you can rebound the basketball. We know you can score. And, you know, and everybody's going to talk about this three-point shooting. But give me another area that you want to work on from day one that make you a more complete player.
My mid-range, my post-mid-range game. I think if I can add that to my arsenal, I think I can be a very good player.
And also posting up. What's your thoughts on you getting down on the block and posting up?
Oh, like I have no problem doing that. Like, just got to read my matchup.
You know what I liked about that, Jerry? You see his mind? He's oh, no problem. That's the one thing I like. And just for you to see that you'll be able to post up, you'll be able to face up. And I think the one thing is that people got to realize is the way you approach the game as a winner. Just where does that come from?
you know, playing on the outdoor courts in McLeod Park in Florence, South Carolina. If you win, you stay on the court. If you lose, you off the court, and your team over there arguing like, man, who fault was it? Like something happened. So I just wanted to stay on the court, so I just got that a winner's mindset.
You didn't come off the court early too often.
Nah, not too often.
Zion, you're in such a unique position in this social media era that we live in, and all the attention that you've received from your high school days up until now, and the expectations. And I know you've talked a lot about that, but have you reached out to anybody, or is anybody in the league who can at least understand a little bit of what you're going through, reached out to you and offered any advice?
You know, the Duke players that come back, I always ask them questions, and the answer is usually the same. Just be the best version of myself I can be, and I stick with that.
Yeah, and when you talk about being the best version of yourself, what are some of your goals in your first year? We're not talking about, you know, being MVP or anything like that. What are some of your small goals that you have that you want to accomplish from day one?
To know that I helped my team win, know that like I had an impact on the game, that I have a great role, like knowing that whenever something was needed, my team never had a second thought that, all right, Zion can get this done for us.
Now, when you're back on the park playing, who were some of the players that you looked up to in the NBA? Who were some of your role models that you said, I want to be like him, I want to play like him?
My stepdad was very old school, so he would tell me to look at players like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. And for me, it was Michael Jordan, because, I mean, he was obviously an assassin on offense, but he was an assassin on defense. Like, he was ready to guard the best player anytime, and I think I respect that the most about him, that he was just as good on defense as he was offense.
Now, assuming that Griff likes his job and doesn't want to be back working with us, he will select you Thursday night, #1 overall. The Pelicans have gone through an interesting time, obviously, with hiring Griff and him now executing this trade with Anthony Davis. Is there any part of you that has been curious to know why Anthony Davis no longer wanted to be a member of the New Orleans Pelicans?
Not at all. Anthony Davis is a grown man. He probably has a great team around him. So at the end of the day, it's a business. So he probably did what was best for him.
Now, when you went through your workouts, so you've been through some workouts, right? Your workouts with teams, right?
Nah, he didn't need to do that. Come on.
But just in then talking, like,
He did as many workouts as you did this week.
yeah, you know, I just wanted to see it. You know, trying to get some information out of it. But the one also aspect is you get fouled a lot. How much have you worked on just the nuances to get to that free throw line? Because you're going to live at the line. And that's the one area I think that can really improve your game. And how much have you worked on it?
A lot. Like, because my stepdad says the same thing. He goes, you're going to live at the free throw line. So almost after every drill, shoot 10, 15 free throws, run till I can't really breathe. And just be like, all right, let's knock him down. Like, can't leave until you knock him down. So I've worked on it a lot.
Zion, assuming the Pelicans keep the 4th pick, if they indeed still have that in their control, is there any particular person in this draft class you'd like to see on your team in the NBA?
If I'm being biased, one of the Duke boys. But if it's not them, I think any player here has put the work in. I think they're ready to ball. So I'll be ready to play with anybody they select.
Now, draft night is coming. You know, we got to know about the attire. You know, you have something special that, you know, going to bring out for draft night?
Man, I'm a simple dude. I just want to walk across the stage and grab my
in your
hat.
jersey, so you're just going to be in a jersey?
Like, man, if I could wear sweats, I'd probably do that.
So hold on, are you saying your on-court game is stronger than your fashion game?
Very much so. Very much so.
So is there any chance, though, you won't be looking clean?
All right. I mean, I got to look clean, obviously.
Right.
But I obviously can't tell y'all what I'm going to wear.
There you go.
Anything special that we should look for? Any surprises with the outfit?
I think the hat. I think the hat would be the best
That's
part.
the best part.
I think the hat's the best part.
Interesting. We got a hat coming out on stage for Zion Williamson. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you joining us here. And don't get sick of us, because we're going to speak to you a lot, all right?
Thank you.
Congrats.
We got plenty more to come here on the 2019 NBA Draft Future Stars presented by State Farm. Smitty and Greenberg coming to you from New York City at the Grand Hyatt. We're back to put a wrap on the 2019 NBA Draft Future Stars presented by State Farm. Steve Smith, Jarrett Greenberg. If there's anything we learned from today, we've got a pretty humble class of top prospects that are coming into the league.
Hey, you're so right, Jarrett. And usually most of the guys are humble, but I'm with you. I think this class might have been the most thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
They were selfless. Really wanted to take the attention off them. Unbelievable class, unbelievable gentlemen we have coming in this 2019 draft.
Obviously, so much hype surrounding Zion. We know that he is going to make a huge difference in New Orleans. Then there's really, we've heard so much about the next two guys, Ja and then R.J. Barrett, more than likely. But now Darius Garland, maybe the Knicks are strongly considering him if they work him out today. But who is outside that top 3 or 4 list that you think could truly be a difference maker?
You know, like you said, Garland is one that everybody's talking about because coming out of high school, #1 rated point guard. And obviously we know ratings don't mean anything, but he didn't get a chance to show, what he can do. And all these workouts I've been hearing that he's been fantastic. Another guy that I didn't think get a chance to show as much as his ability was Cam Reddish at Duke. Obviously playing with R.J. Barrett and obviously Zion Williamson. There's not a lot of left for the third guy, but I think he's another guy. But I would think the guy for me is that's solid, that will be there from day one, is DeAndre Hunter. When you look at his stats and look at his numbers, you can't really go by him because Tony Bennett in Virginia, they play so slow.
Yeah.
So you almost got to add 2 or 3 to every category when you play at Virginia. He's so fundamentally sound. I thought during the tournament, especially in the Final Four, you started to see more of his offensive game, and I think that can improve even more. His defensive game is there in all the intangibles.
All right, that's going to wrap up our coverage from the Grand Hyatt in New York City, but our Marathon Thursday will go strong. Hopefully you can join us beginning with our NBA TV draft preview starting at 5 o'clock Eastern from our Atlanta studio, then join Smitty and me and a cast of thousands from Barclays Center in Brooklyn starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific for live coverage of the 2019 NBA draft. Thanks for joining us.